So in 2018, I received an email from a Twitch streamer named Binance. She's a big streamer that streams shooter games like Valorant and often co-streams with her partner Shroud. She inquired about having a big overhaul of all of her emotes on her Twitch channel, and she was looking for a cat mascot, which I love to do! Cats! According to my reply, I declined the offer. This happens. In 2018, I was very busy working with many of my long-term clients, and I wasn't very good at managing my workload, so there were times when I had to pass on really great opportunities with big streamers. It's painful every time. So in 2019, Hannah, aka Binance, emailed me again, stating that she has about 50 emote slots to fill, not yet counting the tier 2, 3, the bit tier, and follower emotes. And she said that she would be very excited if we could work together. I somehow declined again! I told her that this was one of those opportunities that are really painful to pass on and that I would really like to make it work. So I offered to put her name at the very top of my "if I can make room for a client without dying" list, and that I would reach out if I can make it happen. A month later, we spoke again and I asked her about her mascot ideas. I told her about my updated rates and terms, my availability, and basically I let her know that I'm finally ready to take her huge commission. So 3 years later, I received a Twitter DM from Hannah. She told me something along the lines of, "Hi Dominic, I hope you've been well. I remember we talked quite some time back about redoing all of my emotes." Long story short, she was back after all this time, interested in working with me again. She said she had about 60 emote slots to fill, plus possibly the tier 2, tier 3 and follower emotes. I was like, haha, that's a lot of emotes. And I accepted! Thank you. One of the main things that a client is looking for when they reach out to you is your personal, unique art style. Clients look at your past work before hiring you to get a good idea of what you could do for their brand. So she told me she's looking for a similar style as the emotes that I've made for streamer Lux Bunny and my OG client Bast50. Subscribe to them, they're good people. She liked this cute and minimalistic style to these emotes that I've made, so I knew what to look for when designing her mascot. This was a much better time for me to accept this gig, and I was excited for it. Although I had to start it right around the highly anticipated launch of Elden Ring, Okay, so I always start by asking my clients if they have a mascot in mind, if they already have a list of emotes that they want, or if they would like suggestions from a pro. You know, from the emote king himself. You know what I'm saying, because I'm like, the king. But it turns out that she was more than ready. She had a whole Google Doc for me with at least 50 emote ideas to pick from. Perfect. But first she wanted to create a mascot that was specific to her, and she showed me a picture of her cat. So I started sketching this cat in the style that she wanted. Okay, let's pause the video for a second. This is not a sponsorship, this is my very own ad. I need to advertise something that I'm really excited about and proud of. I've been working countless hours building an empire of pre-made emotes on my Etsy store. Each month I'm adding more and more adorable mascots to the list. We have cats of different breeds, dogs, wolves, sheeps, game-inspired emotes, and more. If you're a Twitch streamer, YouTube streamer, or you own a Discord server, and you can't afford or can't reach an experienced emote artist to get custom emotes, this is the best way to get professional emotes at a very affordable price. These emotes are all carefully designed and drawn by me, and it's been an absolute pleasure to be able to share my art with more of you. I couldn't be more excited to share this with you, so please go check out my Etsy store. I sell emotes, prints, and there will be a lot more every month. The link is in the description of the video, and just thank you so much for supporting me. I ended up with this design. I went with a little bit of a pale look, and I chose to go for big ears to make it look like her real cat. She decided to go for smaller, cuter ears like my older designs. Then we opted for the white tummy and the triangle stripes. I made her choose between 1 stripe gang and 2 stripes gang. She was 2 stripes gang just like me. Can we try with a pink nose? At this point, Hannah was hesitating between having only one cat as a mascot, having a chibi of herself and a cat, or having just many different colored cats as a theme. She showed me some examples of her own cartoon self made by another artist. It's pretty cute, so I used this to create my own emote mascot version. Here's what I came up with. Mini Hannah was then going to use about 15% of the emote slots. She wanted to see what the cat would look like in different colors. At first, I suggested using her cat as the main mascot, and Mini Hannah as a secondary mascot. I initially advised against going with a multicolored theme, such as having each emote be a cat of a different color. My reason for this was that if we do that, the color theme could become what stands out from this brand, and so it could be difficult to differentiate it from another streamer who has multicolored emotes, even if they're not cats. There can be power in a brand made from just one bland colored cat if we assert dominance with it and make it the thing. But you know what? The client is always right, and it's true. Hannah was in the mood to go with colored kitties, so I was going to make the best, cutest colored kitties in my style and make sure that we both loved them. We ended up using our initial cat design based on her own cat to create every colored cat emotes. This is a way to make the brand hers. She asked me to try the mini Hannah design, replacing the black horns by a cute little flower. Okay, so in 2022, between playing a lot of Elden Ring, I went in and sketched 62 emotes. I know this is a lot of emotes. She made some revisions on some of the concepts. I'd call this a win. That's many designs that were accepted on the first try. It's going very well. So this is a result of my revision of these. Before we go forward with the polishing phase, she wanted to see an example of what it would look like with the multicolored theme, so I showed her this. And she loved them! And me too, aren't they cute? So I had the go to finally start turning these sketches into polished and colored emotes. And throughout this whole thing, I want to say that Hannah was very supportive, positive, and kind throughout all of this process. The absolute best kind of client. It made me feel comfortable with getting creative with the designs, and leaving a lot of creative freedom to an artist is the best way to get good and unique results. This was a very long process. It took me a couple weeks to polish these designs and find the right color for each of them. Each of these designs seemed to fit with certain colors more than the others. The challenge was to avoid having too many emotes use similar colors. We needed to balance it out a little bit. But some colors like yellow and green rarely look good on any emotes. So finally, after countless hours of drawing, my giant canvas was full of little colored kitties. You can see that for each emote, I had a big roster of different colors to choose from. They were like my top 5 or top 10 for each of them. I was going to let Hannah choose which color she prefers for each emote, but I told her that my favorite color is the one on the right for each of them. And surprisingly, she agreed with my choice of favorite color for each of them, which saved me a lot of time. Here's how they came out in higher res. Look at the bottom row with all of the mini Hannahs with the flower. I think they came out great. We were almost done. We just needed to make a few changes and additions. Blankies! And finally, when it was time to export everything and send it to Hannah, I made a little animated emo showcase for Twitter. And then in like 30 minutes, one of her editors came back with their own version with like a different music, and it was pretty fitting. So let's watch the final result. While we watch this, let me just tell you again that Hannah was a top tier client to work with, and she doesn't know that I'm making this video. I just wanted to show you a little bit of my process, or the process of how it is to work with like a big streamer behind the scenes, and how we approach creating a brand with them. As you can see, Hannah had a pretty good idea of what she wanted here. She knew she wanted cats and in exactly what art style. That's why she came right for me. But I really like how this came out, and I hope that you did too. It's an honor as an artist to make so many emotes for a large Twitch community. Seeing them spam them everywhere never gets old. So thank you Hannah for hiring me and trusting me with the making of all of these emotes. And I hope that you guys enjoyed my little story of how it is to work with a streamer as an emote artist and my process behind creating a brand for them. Alright, see you guys in the next video and thanks for watching.